Oh, all right, Stephen. We are live in our Facebook page and in YouTube channel. Hello, Stephen. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm also fine. Thank you very much. So let's wait a few minutes. Just our viewers can receive notifications and will join us. It takes some time.
Sure, no problem.
So it's already here 6 o'clock, and people hope they will join us. Yes, our first viewers join us. Good evening, dear friends. Bishkek American Center is welcoming you. Thank you very much for joining our session. And today's virtual program is dedicated to music. And please welcome our special guest today, Stephen Gomez, former English language fellow and beatmaker. And thank you very much, Stephen, for accepting the invitation and being our guest speaker today. It's wonderful to have you. And Stephen, today we'll make a presentation about behind the beat, how hip hop beats are made. And I would like to kindly remind you, dear viewers, so please send us your questions and leave your comments during the live in the comment sections. And after the online presentation, our guest speaker will answer them. So thank you very much, everyone. So now I would like to give a turn to Stephen.
Okay. Thank you very much, Aida. So, many of you may remember me, may be familiar with this face from the American Corner when I was an English language fellow there. Every week, I did a talking club and I work with doing a variety of activities there at the American Corner. I have great memories from there. Now I'm in Batumi, Georgia, another post-Soviet country, not too far away. And I think about Kyrgyzstan all the time. So thank you for having me. This is a great pleasure. So many of you may know me again as an English teacher, and you may know me from the song Kurga What that I produced. And now I'm going to give you some secrets into how music is made that you probably don't know about. So let's begin. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen now.
Mhm.
Okay. Okay. Are we good?
Yes, yes,
Yes.
Stephen.
Okay. Okay, so I'm going to share with you how music is made. You listen to music every day. You probably, hear it on the radio or on your phones, and maybe you've never thought of exactly what goes into making that music. What is the process behind the beat? So I'm going to give you a little bit of insight. So there are various genres of music you might be familiar with, such as pop, reggae, R&B, hip hop, rap, and other kinds of music. But I'm going to focus more here on hip hop because this is my genre. So I work with hip hop and sometimes R&B. So we're going to go through a brief presentation. Then I'm going to give you a demonstration of actually how it's made. So first we have to understand the past in order to understand the present. So hip hop originated in the 1970s in New York City. So if you think about it, that was 50 years ago. And for me, what is amazing about hip hop is that even though it originated in New York City, now it is all over the world. Almost every country that you go to, you will find some form of hip hop in that language of that country. Even in countries like Iraq or Afghanistan, where the situation isn't all that great due to wars, still somehow they've been influenced by hip hop and R&B. So for me, this is amazing. All right, so hip hop originated in the parks. So if you look at this guy here, this is what we call a DJ. And many of you may not be familiar with this, but if you look here on this side right here, what you see is a a turntable. And essentially, what these guys did is they looked for records. So you may not know what a record is. Again, you may not even know what a CD is, but music was only available in this form right here. You had to have this big contraction or this turntable right here. You had to have this contraction to play music. Now, the way hip hop originated is they would find records or music and they would look for one part of the record that only had drums for 10 seconds. So they would listen and listen. They would hear singing and lots of instruments, and they would find one part where the person was not singing, where you would just hear boom, bap, boom, boom, bap, boom, bap. They'd find a 10-second piece. They would get another record, and then they would go back and forth. This is what you call a crossfader. So they would play this 10 seconds and synchronize the timing for another 10 seconds and go back and forth. So that was the job of the DJ. If you look here, you see crates. These are all different records. Then they started getting competitions. They started doing competitions in the park against one another. So it was a competition to see who could find the best records, who could find the best pieces in the records, and who had the loudest music. So as this evolved during those breaks or during that time in the record where people, where there was no voice, this is when rappers came. So all people needed in the park was 2 turntables and a microphone. And what was interesting about all of this was that they would tap into the telephone pole to take electricity because they had no plugs at the time. So for me, hip hop is all about taking what you have and making something with it, just like in life, right? Not everybody is born rich, as we say, with a silver spoon in their mouth. But life is about taking the cards that you're dealt and doing the most you can with them. And this is basically hip hop. So, all right, moving on now. So this is what an old recording studio would look like. As you can see, it's a laboratory with lots of contractions here. And now things don't look quite the same. Now everybody has the ability to make music. It's a lot better. Some of the old hip hop tools or equipment that you would use is, of course, the turntables and records, and these machines right here. So, typically, what I did back in the day, let's say 10 years ago when I started making music, is I would go to stores and try to find records that I liked, and I would record those records into these machines. And these machines you use to manipulate the audio. Now, though, these days, you don't need these machines and you don't need this kind of equipment. Now we have what is called a digital audio workstation, or otherwise known as DAW or DAWs. There are many kinds of digital audio workstations, but today I'm going to show you Reason. So this is what a digital audio workstation looks like right here. If you look here at the top, first you have the mixer. These are where all the sounds go, all the different levels to the sounds. And earlier I showed you a machine that looks something like this. So I hope you can all hear that audio right there.
Yes,
So
Dylan.
basically, everything is here and now. This is like an actual studio, but digitized. And you even have cables in the back to manipulate everything. So, as I mentioned, back in the day, so we have all these devices here. Back in the day, you had to buy individual units, individual machines, and it was extremely expensive. Now everything is within the computer. So here, for example, I have, let's say, for example, I have a piano here. So I have a piano. How am I playing this exactly? Well, I'm not sure if you can see this, but I have a small little keyboard here, we call this a MIDI keyboard or a dummy keyboard. And I can control all the sounds with this. And this is my bigger one that I use. But when I'm on the road, I'm on a train or a plane, I like to use the little one. It's more convenient. Okay. So as I mentioned, back in the day, you would have to go to a record store and buy records and find music. It's about music manipulation. Nowadays, things are a little different. People use YouTube, or people use now something called Splice. So uh, first, I'll give you an idea of something I took from YouTube, something you may be familiar with. Now, this is another program that I use here called Recycle, because you reuse music. I was listening to Kyrgyz music and I found a piece that I really loved. It caught my ear. So I'll play it for you and listen to it for a little bit. So I heard that and I thought, wow, that's amazing. I can make a fantastic beat out of that. So with this program, with this pencil, I can chop the audio. I'm basically cutting it into pieces so that I can replay it. So obviously I don't play this instrument, but by cutting the individual pieces, I can replay it. So let me give you an example of exactly how that works. So once that audio in Recycle, I take it and I put it into this machine here, and you can see the audio wave right here, and I can replay it. Now, I replayed it, but I put a distortion kind of different effect on it, so you can hear. Now, by itself, it doesn't sound that good. So let me play for you what I came up with. So yeah, it doesn't sound that great, but like I said, hip hop is about taking what you have and putting pieces together. So, but I heard potential in that. So I heard that, and I thought to myself, you know what? Let me put some drums here. So I loaded a kick. This is what we call a kick drum. This is what gives you that boom, and a snare. It gives you that crack. So boom, crack. So I played a nice little rhythm here, and I think it sounds okay. Okay, so that gives you an idea of how this works, how you can manipulate sounds, and again, here I have various different sounds that I add. Um, I changed the tone of the sample. Here I added some kind of weird, funky synthetic sound, as we call it. There's another weird sound. Here is a piano that I added, and cello. All right. So this is something I created actually about 2 years ago. I'm going to show you something newer that I made kind of recently to give you an idea of the process of how much faster this works. Okay. So I use this program here called Splice. Now, Splice is a new way of digging or trying to find sounds. And people make sounds here. So I can go in here to sounds. People make sounds and sell them to this website. And on this website, I pay about $10 a month, and I can download the sounds that I like. So I go here into instruments, for example, and then I have a choice of what I want. Okay, do I want drums? Do I want vocals? Do I want percussion, brass and woodwind, such as trumpet, flutes, keys, so bass, guitar, effects. So I can go in here anywhere. For example, I'll go into synth. Synth just means, if you're wondering what it means it's a synthetic sound. It's not an actual instrument, but it's an electronic manipulated sound that has its own flavor, its own kind of taste. So that's one of the cool things about this technology now, that we begin to manipulate audio in such a way that it's unrecognizable, and the sky is the limit. So if I hear something I like, I can just download it. So I'll play something here that might sound kind of interesting. For example, let's see if it plays. Boom, ch, boom, boom, ch, boom, ch, boom, boom, ch. So if I like that, I can download it and I can start to work on that. So notice here you have 142. This is the beats per minute. So this is the speed. And you have the notes. So it says F sharp in minor. So that's really cool too. So I'm not the best piano player, but I know my way around notes. So I can go ahead and get an idea of what to put with this, because I can actually search here. I can search various instruments according to the chord. So once I figured out the chord, I'm like, oh, okay, I can just find other instruments that fall within that chord and then manipulate the sounds to fit together. So let's go back to, this is my newest creation that I've been working on this week. So while trying to find some cool new sounds, I found this really cool guitar sound. So I heard the sound. I was like, oh, that guitar sounds really cool. Let me see what I can do with that. So I put it on, and I thought, you know what? I want to add something interesting to this to give it like a record feel, to give it like an old feel. So I decided to add some static or some crackle, and it gives it a, I don't know, like a 70s kind of 80s feel. So have a listen now. All right. So that gives it a different little vibe right there. So I know that this sample or this guitar is in G sharp. So I found some drums that was not in G sharp. Believe it or not, drums are notes, but it was in another note, but I can change the note. So I found these drums here. Let me completely solo it. And I thought this will work. Okay, so this drum loop is nice, but I didn't like the kick, the boom. So I actually manipulated the audio here. I went into what we call an equalizer, and well, maybe I didn't. Yes, I did. Let's see. This one here. Here we go. And right here, I can manipulate the sound. You can see the sound. It has no low end, so that boom, boom, it's gone. I got rid of this because I want to put my own. So let me show you what it sounds like now with those drums, the static in the guitar. Okay, the guitar right here. All right, cool. So I was like, all right, that sounds cool. I need to put the bass. Now, bass is something that you hear in every pop song on the radio. It's that thing that you feel in your gut. I hope you have headphones on right now so you can really hear it. If you don't, you won't be able to hear it. But I put a bass behind it now. So this was actually completely played. So, and it looks like this. So this is the wave. All right, this is the wave right here, and it sounds like this now. Okay, so for me, these drums were not enough, so I decided, let me add some more drums on here. So I added from my drum machine here. Let me show you. So this is my drum machine. It's called Redrum, or interestingly, Murder backwards. Don't ask me why. It's just a name. And I can load drums in here and replay them. So there are different kinds of sounds. This is one of my favorite sounds. So this is just a scream. You'll hear it later on. And it's probably going left and right in your headphones if you have headphones on. So it sounds something like this. All right. At this point, I had a great foundation, and I was thinking, you know what? This reminds me of driving in a car. So I thought, I want to give it a really cool effect of something to do with a car. So I went on YouTube, and I found a guy in Germany driving a Ferrari, and I used that as my intro. So this is what it sounds like. Okay. So at that point, I was like, all right, I need some kind of change up, some kind of transition, right? You don't want to listen to the same thing again and again and again. It can become very monotonous. So I went back into Splice, and I started finding other sounds in the same kind of chord or root note, as we say. And I found this really cool sound. I don't know. It was faster. I think it was faster, and I slowed it down. So it gave it a nice stutter, futuristic kind of sound. So it actually, this is what it sounds like altogether now. Okay, so we got a change up. Now we need more change ups, right? It's nice to have variety. So I found this really cool guitar, which I'm going to show you. I'll play it by itself, and then I'll show you some other manipulation that I did. Again, what I love about this is that I'm taking pieces of music that someone else played, and I'm manipulating it so it could sound good within my mix. So, some people might say, "Oh, well, you're not a true musician because you're not playing it yourself." But I have an ear and I know how to put it together. So that's what matters. So this is, I believe it's a Chinese instrument. I don't know, maybe it could be a Central Asian type guitar, but give it a listen how it sounds. All right. So I took that. I'm like, all right, this is cool. I like the sound, but I want it to sound, I don't know, I want it to sound different. I want to give it a nice edge because so far the beat started off sounding like you're traveling somewhere. And with my music, I like to paint pictures, right? When you listen to it, I want you to imagine that you're in another place. So how can I take you to another place with this? So I use this program here called Looperator. And basically, what this does is it creates these funky effects on the music. So this effect here is called Sunday Filter Noon. And this is what it sounds like when you turn it on. So it definitely has a nice ambient sound. It sounds like it's in a room, and it just makes you feel something different when you listen to it. So this is what it sounds like all together. Okay, not bad, right? Not bad. Okay, so again, I want to change things up. I want things to move around. One of my friends heard this, and he said, "Oh, it would sound nice if you put some vocals on there." So I went back into the Splice program and I found someone who sang. So this is what they sang. And again, because it's within my chord note, I just manipulated the timing for it to fit what I'm doing. So I did that, and it sounds like this. Okay, so we have there the chimes as a transition. It changes up again, and this is what I'm doing with my music. I like to just have lots of variations, and I like to keep going until I can't go anymore, and then I will go and arrange the music as to in a way that it makes sense. So this chime transitions into a trumpet part. I thought it would be nice to have a trumpet, and I downloaded various trumpets and I tried to manipulate it so that it could fit within the audio here. And this is the trumpet by itself. Okay, so all together, sounds something like this. All right, and we have another vocal that I put in here. So this is where I'm at. This is where I'm at, and I'm still working on this. And you know, it's a process, and it's a lot of fun just putting things together because I start off with, as I showed you, with the guitar, and I moved on to something else. So I'm gonna play it from the beginning, just so you can get a feel for what it sounds like all together. Okay, so this has been a presentation of Behind the Beat, showing you how beats are made. I gave you the secrets. A lot of people will not show you what I showed you in terms of my resources of how I manipulate the audio, but I didn't give you all the secrets. So I
Mhm.
hope you've enjoyed that. And yeah, if you have any questions, by all means, just I'm ready.
Oh, great. Thank you very much, Steven, for this amazing presentation. I really enjoyed the process of music creation. It was really cool. Thank you very much. And I never thought that we have this digital studio, kind of instead of like physical
Yeah,
equipment. Yes, having like. Thank you very much. So we received questions. So let me start to ask.
sure.
The first question. Hi, Steven. Glad to see you. Thanks for this presentation. Really exciting process. Should we ask authors permission first to use their music, or it depends on how we want to use it?
This is a very good question. Excellent question. So, from this program, when I take this music, actually, you have when you because I pay $10 a month, I have permission to use it. Now, back in the day when they were taking music from records, basically they did it without permission. And if you got famous, then that person who made the music would take all the money.
Oh,
Uh, that's how it would work. If you like myself, I'm not famous, so I can take whatever I want. And if I get famous, well, good. They can take my money. That's not a problem. So
mhm.
um, there are nowadays though some people, some artists, for example, like Bruno Mars or Ariana Grande, they take pieces of music from the past, but they pay before. So they ask for permission, and then the original artist might say, "Give me 25% or 50%," or "Okay, you can use it, but give me 90%." It's up to the lawyers. So great question.
I see how it works. Thank you very much for your answer, Stephen. The next question: how do you like Georgia? What is it like to live there?
Georgia. Georgia is an interesting place. It's a place with lots of delicious food, mountains, sea. You know, for the most part, friendly people, and yeah, very similar to Kyrgyzstan with some of the architecture. But I like it so far. I've been here now 3 years, so I'll be here for one more year. So I was in Kyrgyzstan for 2 years, and it was easy to transition to Georgia.
Great. Thank you very much, Stephen. The next question: are these programs that you use to create music, are they free to
Uh,
use?
that's, that's a good question. This one that I use called Reason is not free, but there are other programs. I can write it in here for you. You
Mhm.
can download the free version. Of, you can do a Google search of Fruity Loops, and I think Adobe Audio might be free too.
Mhm.
So you can download a free version of these, and you can make music with those. As I said, there are lots of different digital audio workstations, and the one that I use called Reason, which is made from Sweden, is that's just my choice. Right? It's not to say that this one is better than others. It's just a matter of preference, and you take what you have and you do what you can with everything that is there.
Mhm. Thank you very much, Stephen. I received and I'm already putting these programs here in the comment section. So yes, it's done. Thank you
Good.
very much. The next question for you: do you use music to teach English?
Do I use music to teach English? Um, yes, at times. At times, um, I was working at when I was working in Kyrgyzstan with my students. I would definitely use it. Now these days, I'm doing more teacher training, so I don't use it all the time. But I do play music in the classroom, so just to have a good vibe, a good mode.
Mhm. Wonderful. Thank you very much, Stephen. The next question: how did you become a beat maker?
Okay, so that's a good question. Excellent. So back in the day, when Eminem was becoming famous,
Mhm.
my friends and people around me started getting into rap, and I started to rap too. And I wanted to be a rapper. I'm from Los Angeles, and in
Mhm.
Los Angeles, everybody wants to be famous. At some point, growing up there, at some point in your mind, you think, you know what, I can do it. People from all over the world come to Los Angeles to either be some kind of artist, either actors or musicians or singers. And I thought, I have my chance. Okay, why not? So I started making beats, started rapping, and I needed beats. So I knew a guy who was very talented with the piano, but he wasn't good with technology. So we got some equipment, and he told me, "Listen, you learn how to use the equipment, and then you teach me how to use it. You can be my engineer, then I can make beats for you." And when I learned how to use the equipment, I started learning how to make beats, and I loved it. And after a while, I'm like, sorry, man, but I don't really need you to make beats for me. Now I'm making my own beats. And eventually, I like making beats more than rapping. Um, you know, rap is cool and everything, and I think it's an interesting expression of art. It's just not for me, and I like making beats because by making a beat, I'm not telling you my opinion. I'm not telling you how to live your life. I'm not telling you what I think about politics. I'm not telling you anything about anything. I just make the music. It's an expression of what I feel, and however it makes you feel, that's up to you. And so it's very neutral, and it can be interpreted in many ways.
Mm-hmm. That's true. Thank you very much, Steven, for your answer. The next question, what do you like about music?
Um, that's a that's a very that's a very big question there. What do I like about music? Well, like I mentioned, I don't make music with lyrics because I don't want to tell people what to do. Originally, I got into rap because of the message that it gave, right? I guess you could say that the kind of rap that I listened to was edutainment or educational entertainment rap that would teach you about science, about the world, about history, about injustices in the world. And in many ways, this influenced me in my way of thinking about life. And in particular, it influenced me in thinking about the idea that it doesn't matter if you're poor, it doesn't matter if you're ugly or if you think you're ugly, it doesn't matter if you were born in a terrible country. What
Mm-hmm.
matters is your belief that you have in yourself to accomplish your dreams and your goals, whatever this may be. This is a very American idea, and it was transmitted in rap through me. You know, I can't say that I grew up super poor. At the same time, I didn't grow up rich. You know, I'm the son of immigrant parents, and they came to America for a better future. Maybe I didn't have all the opportunities that other people had, but I could say that because of rap and because of rap music, it influenced me in a positive way, and it planted the seeds in my brain to move forward and to become educated. Because in my family, I'm the only person who graduated from college.
Mm-hmm.
I'm the only person who even got a master's degree. So no one else in my family got to that point. And if it wasn't for the type of music that I listened to, I don't think I would have been there. You know, growing up, everybody kind of tends to gravitate to some kind of motto of how to imitate themselves. And I could have modeled those people around me. And I think that would have been devastating for my future. I wouldn't be here now where I am in this position. I'm lucky to be where I am. And I gravitated towards some of the positive ideas that I got in this music. So I hope that answers your question of what I think about music.
It's wonderful. Thank you very much, Steven. Who's your favorite artist?
That's a tough question because I can't say there's a favorite artist, but I can name a couple. So I like Wu Tang Clan. I like they're from New York, one of the original groups. I like Tupac. I think Tupac has a great message, and it's amazing that every country I go to, I see graffiti with Tupac. He died a long time ago, but he's still alive with us today. I really like Eminem. I think
Mm-hmm.
he has a great story. If you've seen his film, you understand he has this typical American story of start from the bottom and come to the top. I also like Dr. Dre. Dr. Dre
Mm-hmm.
for his sounds that he makes, the influence that he makes. And one more, I like a rapper by the name of Nas from New York City, who has a very poetic type of sound. Um, he he raps about the Egyptian pyramids. He raps about just like street knowledge. He was never educated, never went to college, but he paints pictures with his words. And even though he's not the kind of music that younger people now listen to, I still like it. I enjoy it. No, these are my favorite, but that's not
Mm-hmm.
to say that I'm against these these new rappers. You know, every person likes the music of their generation. So this music now, modern music that's coming out is great. It's fantastic. I like it. I just prefer, the music of back in the day. This is just my preference.
Mm-hmm. Thank you very much, Steven, for your answer. The next question, do you perform in public?
Do I perform in public? I do not perform in public because, as I showed you in making these, like this beat that I showed you, that I walked you through, I probably put 3 or 4 hours into making it, and there's no performance to do here. It's just playing. I mean, it's just a matter of hitting the space bar, and it plays. So there's no performance. Uh, in the future, if the opportunity arises, maybe I can figure something out where I can play part of the music. But I do this for fun. Right? I don't do this for money. It's just a hobby that I do. I enjoy it. I do it. You know, um, when you ask people, what do you love? Would you do it without money? I'm doing it without
Mm-hmm.
money. So because I really love it. In the future, if I have the opportunity to perform, someone tells me like, we want you to play your beats over here, I can figure something out. Why not? So
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I see. Thank you very much, Stephen. The next question: what is important in music? The lyrics, the beat, or the message?
oh, that's a good question. I mean, I think I would just say the vibe, all right, the feeling that you get. For me, music is emotional, and if the lyrics are going to help the emotion, then that would be the most important thing. At the same time, too, you can have someone who has great lyrics and great singing, but if the beat is terrible, then it's not going to transmit forward. So all of the above. I just think music needs to emit some kind of emotion in you, make you feel a certain kind of way.
Mm-hmm.
There's music for sleeping, there's music for dancing, right? There's music to make you think. There's music for driving in the car or walking down the street, jogging. It's all about what is the purpose of that music and what are they trying to do with it.
Mm-hmm. Wonderful. Thank you very much, Stephen. The next question: do you like Kyrgyz national music, traditional music?
Yeah, yeah, I think it's interesting. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing it right. Is it the kumus? Is it the
Mm-hmm.
kumus?
Komos.
Yes, komos, komos. Yes. um, I think it has an interesting sound, and I've been to a concert at the Philharmonic where it was not just Kyrgyz artists, but artists from all of Central Asia, and I thought it was amazing the skills that they have. I'm uh, I'm in awe, and I wish that I could play like that. It's just not my forte, but I do enjoy it. I think it has a great vibe. When I listen to Kyrgyz music, I think about Jeti Ogus and Arslanbab, and I think about these beautiful places. So it's definitely a unique instrument.
Mm-hmm. Do you play instruments? Do you know other instruments how to play?
Well, I play a little bit of piano. I'm not
Mm-hmm.
sure if you're able to see earlier when I shared the screen, but I have this thing here, and
Mm-hmm.
so I can play the piano keys on here. I have my virtual instruments, and I have right here pads for the drums. So um, originally, a long time ago, probably 15 years ago, I played drums. I can actually play a drum set, and then a little bit of piano, and that's about it. That's about it. So for me, making beats, in fact, a lot of beat makers, a lot of producers don't actually play instruments, but they know how to manipulate the sounds. So
Mm-hmm.
that's what it's about. It's about sound manipulation.
Mm-hmm. I see. Thank you very much, Stephen. This was our last question.
Okay.
I think it was a really wonderful session. I learned how the hip hop beats are made now, even in online studio that you can download. Yes, it was a really amazing process that I witnessed. Thank you very much, Stephen, once again. And I also want to say thank you to our viewers who sent us their comments and questions for your active participation. Thank you very much. And I think it's time to say goodbye to everyone. and we have to close up our session. And thank you very much, everyone. And see you
Okay.
our
Before
next
we
session.
go, can
Mhm.
I want to share my YouTube link. So if other
Sure.
people want to listen to my music, you can subscribe to my YouTube. So uh, let me give you, if you go on YouTube and you type that in,
Mhm.
I can also quickly share the screen so you can see what it looks like.
Yes, sure. Steven Gomez Beats. Okay, the YouTube
Yeah,
channel.
yeah.
So, dear friends, please subscribe to Steven Gomez YouTube channel. So I'm going to put the link here, the name.
Okay, so I can show you what it looks like. Okay, so this is it right here. So
Okay.
uh, I have lots of music, and every week I'm adding new music. And if any of you are doing video projects,
Mm-hmm.
can go ahead, use it for free. So
Wow.
I'm not gonna charge you. And if any of you are rappers, Kyrgyz rappers, and you want to get in touch with me, you can take some of this music too. I would love to have some Kyrgyz rappers on these beats. I think it'd be an interesting collaboration. So
Yes, looking forward for it. Thank you very much, Steven. Yes, I put the name of your YouTube channel here in the comment section, so please subscribe to YouTube channel. And thank you very much once again, everyone. Have a great evening. Those who are watching us in other countries, so have a great day. Thank you very much. Bye bye. See you in our
okay,
next session.
goodbye, everyone.